What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another video, and thank you for joining in with me. I hope that you are having a lovely and wonderful Wednesday. And, I figure I'd get on here and show y'all how to either A, be really good at Call of Duty, or B, suck a big one at Call of Duty. I was playing earlier, and I was eating, but, it always seems to pan out just a tad bit different whenever I play while recording, which I believe is just because I'm splitting my attention whenever I do play. So of course that makes it a tad bit more difficult to be consistent at times. This guy. Oh wow. I know he's mad. I would be. Oh shit. Well, good start so far. See if we can keep it rocking. But no, as I was saying, hopefully you're having a blessed Wednesday. Hopefully your day has been going well. Hopefully, the 9 to 5, just whatever your damn hours are working, working the job. Yeah, I'll take that. Giving me free kills, see that? But hopefully it's all going smoothly, and hopefully life has been treating you somewhat kindly. I mean, I know it. I really doubt that it has. But I mean, at least. Oh, shit! Damn, that's crazy. He's about to just let me die. But in my experience, it seems to be just one of those things too, where like me, it was like I never got any kind of. Where is it? I hear it. Wow. Good job, Shane. Thank you, Shane. But in my experience, it's like I come to realize it was like, man, there's no peace whenever it comes to this life. There's no peace whenever it comes to playing the game of life. Man, I know he's mad at me. Oh, I know he's mad too. Gosh, come on. Oh, I didn't see him. Son of a biscuit. But no, there's no peace, it seems, especially in today's world where people are constantly looking out for themselves and they are constantly, it's just we live in a very selfish time period, it seems. And of course, wow, boy, freaking eating. Ah, man. But of course, there are changes that can be made that can make it a little easier, make it a little more peaceful, of course, because, change is the key to really, that's a big key to, as I said in my last video, to getting what you want. But also, there are other aspects that people tend to forget about, you know. And, personally speaking, I am a believer in Christ, like I've stated before, and I do believe that is one of the keys. But I mean, also, it's just there's certain things that every person needs, even if they are, even if they aren't in a spiritual sense, or even if they aren't, yeah, or even if they aren't anything close to being religious, I guess you could say. Well, damn it, I knew I should have moved. But it's like people don't realize that there are a lot of traits that you gained from following the spiritual path. And a huge one that I believe that a lot of people, especially nowadays, and especially when it comes to men, that they lack is discipline. Sorry, I was gonna make a joke because the dude was sitting there, but no, I figured probably not. Oh, come on, I seen you. Where are you? There you are. But discipline is such a big thing, and it's like nobody has it anymore. Nobody can say no to their desires. Nobody can fight the urges. How? I had to do like 3-4 times. I don't know, I'm not gonna go that way. But people can't fight the urges anymore. And it's like with that, they're... Damn it! They are losing the battle of self. Because in my opinion, that is one of the bigger... Oh, thank God for that. But one of the bigger reasons that we are here is to understand self, to discover self, to figure out why we behave like we do, why we react like we do, why we think like we do, why we perceive life as we do. And of course, 99% of people, I believe, will never get to a point of self-discovery or self-mastery or anything of the sort. But people don't understand that that knowledge of self and that turning away from certain attachments is how we get to a state of being. That's how we get to growing. That's how we get to kind of get to a state of enlightenment in a way. Look at there. That's a good game right there. What? That's like one of the best games I've actually had recorded. Oh shit, almost fell. But it's like really backwards, real original. I used to be my favorite when I was a pothead, or at least to start off. Look at that old camper trick. He's some trash. Boo! I think mine was better than that. Or I feel like I had better than that. Anyways, but people lack self-discipline anymore, and because of it, we let our desires and our emotions control us. You have a feeling and you just run with it, and not realizing that most of the time those feelings are, for one, they are misguided. So because they are misguided, it puts us in a state of excuse me, in a state of confusion, a state of regret, but also it feeds more fuel to the fire that is the ego. And the ego is truly it's our enemy in a sort of sense. And see, that's a big thing. Like, a lot of people don't want to accept the belief of Jesus Christ because they know that with that comes a certain sense of having to change, having to acknowledge that there is a greater power. And I think, it comes with this book of rules and book of guidelines, which I'm not saying it doesn't, but people's perception has falsely projected that guy's gamer tag is Lucifer. What a weenie. But people's perception has falsely projected this sense of, to follow Jesus, you have these rules and these chains that are attached to you, not realizing that in reality, these chains, quote unquote, that everybody has them already. Everybody is already a prisoner. Freedom is an illusion. And time is our only true currency, and the system wants us to stay comfortable and stay dormant and not. They don't want us to change. They don't want us to grow because they know if we change and grow, then we will be able to be above, not really above this reality, but you grow in alignment with it. When you grow in alignment with it, there's just a difference in the world. What where they at though? Love it. I shoot a few bullets up there. Oh, headshot. But no, people don't realize that everybody has chains, everybody has flaws, and everybody has these weights essentially that we all carry. Man, I can't stand them damn dudes just live. But we all have these weights that we carry, not realizing that they come from our parents, our grandparents, our friends' families, and they are these. But they are these. They are the bad habits that we pick up from our environment and the people that we are raised around, and all of it stems from childhood. That's another thing too. People don't realize that in order to fix a lot of I can't stand teammates. That shit was mine. I always think of Freddy Krueger whenever I say that. Oh, Freddy vs. Jason, like, she was mine, mine, mine. Oh, I knew he was somewhere. Anywho, but people think that there are, which like I'm saying, there are not rules. Well, there are not. There are rules that come with it to a sort of sense, because of course you learn to live in spiritual alignment with reality, but people don't realize that living in spiritual alignment with reality is easier than not. Like, people have this false sense of, like I say, false sense of freedom to where, oh, I can do what I want, so I'm free. But no, in all realities, they can't do what they want. They are a slave to whatever desire that hits them at that moment. Could be, bigger stuff like alcohol, or, smoking weed, or, heroin, crack, coke, meth, pills, list goes on. Or they can be other things that people tend to overlook, like food, like sex, like getting shot in Call of Duty. No. But they, it's just, and everybody's like, oh, I don't want to follow these rules, and I don't want to change, and that's why they're going to continue to stay miserable. They're going to continue to live the life that their parents lived and their parents' parents lived, and like I say, in reality, you just listen to spiritual truth. And that's the thing, man. Spiritual truth is easy. It's, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not uh fornicate, and there's people don't realize that these rules, there are reasons for the rules. And like, even like sex. Sex is a sacred energy exchange that people don't realize, that when you hook up with these individuals, you're gaining a sort of, you're picking up a vibration that they're putting out, and because of that, you'll start carrying around these demons that aren't even yours, and you already have plenty on your own. So it's like, what am I hearing? A damn cat. But anyways, so we carry these chains around, and then everybody's like, oh, I swear, if one of these damn teammates keeps shooting me, that's what I'm hearing. It's that damn, wow. Oh, he's on the ground. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? And we're about to lose because that's crazy. It's okay. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, did not play good again. But anyways, and so everybody thinks that following the path of Christ comes with this list of rules that you. Oh, there's a guy with that dumbass sound. What a weenie. But I think they come with these rules and these chains, and they don't understand it. They don't realize that You you already have chains. And to come to the knowledge of self is to come into the realization that we are all unified, that we are all one, and that we all have the spark of the Most High inside of us. We are all, man, people think I'm crazy whenever, or will think I'm crazy if I say this, but we are essentially, we are gods. We are. We are creators. It's just we are put into a system that is designed to keep us asleep and keep us blinded so that way we cannot fully become awakened to our power. And that's why, you see a lot of Christians who will, they'll really push Jesus because they got a little taste of it. It's because they changed a little bit, but they don't realize that if you continue to change and you continue to learn about self and continue to grow into an authentic version of yourself, that through faith you can achieve anything. And that's the whole reason why Christ came, because it says in Ephesians 2:8-9, it's for by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. Faith is how we are genuinely saved from ourselves. And then once you accept Christ for what he says he was, which is being the Son of God and also the Son of Man, which is, a man who came, died, resurrected, which there's more historical proof for that event than anything else in history. Do with that what you will. Which of course I'm a skeptic, so I believe a lot of history is falsified too. So it's kind of one of those things. But I have gained awareness. I have grown to become more conscious about myself, but I truly feel like I am a son of the Most High now because I've put in the work of turning away from myself. I have made necessary, and don't get me wrong, I'm a sinner. I fall short daily. I do things that I'm still working on. My mouth is one of them that you'll hear throughout my streams. Certain words slip up. Uh, but I know that through grace we are saved because none of us deserve it. We all got what we deserve. We'd be living in the state we are all living in. But God, or should I say it? Really, I don't know if he or she. I just say he because I'm a he. But God wants to have a relationship with us. But people don't realize that God is not outside of us. It is not out there up in the sky. It's inside. The kingdom of heaven is within. And the more that you begin to comprehend that, the more you can begin to see changes in your walk, changes in your day to day. And of course, don't just dump into it and just go balls deep into something that you have no idea about, but giving it a chance and just taking a second to react differently than you normally would. Instead of getting mad for somebody who said something about you, let it go. Because, with karma is definitely a real thing. Law of cause and effect is in effect. And it will continue to be in effect as long as we are in this reality. And with that, that whatever someone does, whatever someone puts out, they will get it back. They will receive the just repercussions of so cool and dumb. Silly goose. But they will get the repercussions for the actions that they put out into reality. And there are universal laws that go into this reality. That's why there has been this premise that I have been studying on, which is Sophia and the Demiurge, and that they believe that, it's all accidental, there's no hope, there's no nothing, and, it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a cool theory, but if it all happened by accident, why are there these laws that govern our reality? Why are there these designs put into the human mind, into a human being that we all have? But like, even if so like, okay, so one of them that I always find interesting is the fact that every single human, we all have the design. We all worship something. Of course, it's different per individual, per perspective. So, some people worship money. Most people worship money nowadays. It's a very materialistic world, which is very sad. But, most people worship the almighty dollar, which, I mean, of course, I know that we have to, in a sense, aim to acquire. Why is there a countdown? Oh, they all left. That's crazy. But I know that there is this, it's just we all worship something, and usually it's money, but also can be your girlfriend, your boyfriend, it can be your job. I know a lot of people do that. Uh, and it's just, if your heart isn't right, and if mind isn't, your mind isn't directed towards the right thing, it will always blow up in your face. Because in this reality, we have to live from alignment, not from desire or from the ego. And if you are not aligned with the external, if your internal is not aligned with your external, then everything that you build will fall apart like building a foundation upon sand. And that's why, like, you can really tell a true follower of Christ because you can tell by the fruit that that tree bears. So you can tell a person by what actions they do. If someone says that they're, follow Christ, immediately people know there should be something different. It's interesting that people know this. Even me, like I say, I was never a godly man. I was never a churchgoer. I was never religious or spiritual, or man, I was straight up worldly, like 100%. And in my opinion, I was worse than most because I've always been predestined to be something greater because I do believe that God's elected are, where God is outside of time. Only we are in time because time is our true currency, and that is how you truly measure our reality. That's how you truly measure matter, is through time. But, we our creator is not inside of time. It is, why is there a big ass scorpion? But and he's outside of time, so with that, of course, he is not restricted in time like we are while we're here, of course. Now, of course, us, the spirit that's inside of each and every body that's, and I mean body literally, but each and every body that's listening, your spirit is outside of time. That's why you can think about your past and you'll be there, or you can think about the future and you'll, in a sense, be there because our mind is above matter in all ways in this reality. And if you don't realize that you I don't know, you'll lose life trying to gain it. There's this quote that I enjoy. It's, life is what happens when you're busy making plans. Because life never stops. Life is always continuously going. It's a continuous clock that is always changing and always not changing, always playing out. And with that, you know, it's that freaking every time it's always a slide that pulls my attention. Through the window. Oh, that's one thing too about this game. I've noticed my projectile aiming is nowhere near like it was in some of the other games. Anyways, damn, something big just happened here. Oh. My DMX. But no, it's you know, time is the main currency that's the currency we spend. That's the true currency of this reality. Oh wow, look at that. Not like shooting in the dark, hitting somebody. But people don't realize that. People spend their whole lives. They spend every moment of every day getting shot in the back of the head. No. They spend every moment of every day out chasing the almighty dollar. Failing to realize that as they're chasing this dollar, they are truly missing life. They are missing out on the moments with their kids where they take their first step, or maybe they say their first word. Man, I was around the damn corner. How does that make sense? See, New Age Call of Duty logic irks me. But, damn, it's a little lower. Sorry. I was thinking about the dad from Coraline when I said that. Sorry. I'm sorry. Mother's making me. Oh, shit. He got. But, no, it's... I gotta work on that. I say nah a lot whenever I done call. But, you know, it's one of those things to where of course, we can gain a certain type, we can gain some truth from ourselves. We can gain some awareness from ourselves. But I don't believe that people can get the full picture without making the necessary changes. And I do think Christ is that necessary change. And again, you know, I could be wrong. But I know for me, I'm doing better than, you know, 99% of the other people I've come across. I'm doing better than, you know, a lot of friends who come from better background, or doing better than and you know, I mean, of course, don't get me wrong, like nothing I have is because of me. Nothing that I have gained, like physically in a material aspect, is what I'm speaking. None of it matters. None of it remotely holds any weight in my eyes, because it all comes and goes. Like I say, man, I was dumpster diving as a kid. I was, you know, when you're dirt poor, like, that's why, man, like, I used to absolutely love, you know, because like I said, I grew up in the hood, so I was always at the cookouts, or I was always in the mix in a sort of sense. And it's just, you learn from black people, man. It's like they can be happy with nothing. You know, they can have all these bills, they can have all these troubles, and they still don't let it strip away their joy. Now, at the same time, it can be a bad thing because it leaves them being unmotivated at times. And I mean, I know, like, color is not a good gauge at all, so I mean, it's more of a descriptive term, if anything, for me. But you know, it's like you just learned that you can still enjoy life without the material things. And that's why, like, I learned at a young age that it don't matter like that. Like, not like everybody tries to make it out to be. Which, I mean, of course, like I say, you quote unquote need it because of this system that we are currently living. But at the same time, you don't need it. You need, certain traits like self-control, like discipline, like faith. Faith is the biggest one if you really ask me. But self-control, discipline, change, understanding, not understanding. I don't like saying understanding because that kind of like saying you're standing under something. But comprehension, having these certain. Oh well, look at that, I still did over one. I'm surprised. But having these certain keys in their life, they make your foundation unshakable. When you know what you're capable of, when you go through some of life's hardest moments by yourself and come out on top, for one, you don't react as much to life. You don't let it impact you the same way, but also you gain a certain authority over life, especially through Christ. Oh, yeah. Imagination. Oh, let me get a pie head. Mm. But I don't know. It's just people seem to. I don't know. People fail to realize what sort of state they are actually in. And then they think to get better is to do the exact same thing that they've been doing, and to do the same thing over and over, and then expect something differently, or expect a different outcome. That is the literal definition of insanity. And that's where I believe a lot of people are nowadays. They are in a sense to where it's like, oh, why can't my health get better? Yeah, you're eating 2 Big Macs, 3 fries, and a slushy every day. Or you're like, why can't I get stronger? And then you don't hit the weights. Like it doesn't make sense when it comes from when you think about it logically. Like it's just, I don't know. It's silly. In reality, that's what I think. It's silly. People are silly. People are naive. People are just misguided. And that's why, like I say, that's a big reason why I try to come on here and speak truth. Truth that you can test and that I can guarantee that it won't fail you. Because if you build faith upon Christ, it will grow. If you, gain self-control through starving your ego, it will last. If you gain patience through, again, also starving the ego, that's a big way how you gain patience is just saying no to the desires, because everything is temporary in this world. Even if it lasts 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, it's still temporary. Nothing here lasts. Nothing here is going to follow us after this world except for what we learn, what we gain. And if you don't gain a certain amount of awareness, and if you don't gain a certain amount of spiritual wisdom, you will, in my opinion, you'll have to come back and do it again. Because I think that we are in a energetic prison, an energetic I freaking laying down. God, I can't stand those people. But we are in an energetic prison that consistently it recycles us to the point to where we keep coming back because we don't learn the truth of our reality. We allow people to dictate our beliefs, or we allowed old beliefs that no longer serve us to continue through our life, which makes no sense. It's illogical. And that's like, it's one of, it's just there's a problem with people because nobody can think for themselves anymore. Nobody are free thinkers. Nobody questions anything. They just okay and just follow along. Why? Like that right there, that is my favorite thing to say is why. Because everybody has some kind of crap excuse or crap idea that they're trying to force on everybody. And it's like, why do you believe that? Why do you think that? Why do you build your life on that when you are miserable or when you are empty on the inside? And again, it's just one of those things to where I'll speak what I believe because I know who I was beforehand. I know the difference in me before Christ and after Christ. Really? Two of y'all are sitting there? What? Man, dude, I can't stand these damn. It's like this. Like, how is that even fun to just sit in a corner and just shoot? Oh, that shit's so sorry. Excuse my language. But no, I think like I say, people are misguided at a very severe level nowadays, to a point of they won't accept nothing else besides what they believe because they've done built this whole life upon this lie, failing to realize that that lack of awareness upon why they do what they do is what's causing them harm. Because I mean, that's right there. Like, to me, being able to being able to word your problem, being able to say it, being able to, speak it. That's half of the battle is knowing. And most people don't know. That's the whole problem. And that's why, that's why we, like in scripture says that we die for a lack of knowledge. We don't even realize what's wrong because we're misguided. We are following a sense of truth that has no solid foundation of spiritual truth. Because if you are not spiritually grounded and in alignment with the external, like I say, okay, so of course, only way the external, like, it matters, just because you have to align with you grow into alignment with the outer reality. You start noticing synchronizations. You start noticing, you'll be sitting there and you'll just be driving, look over, and then a clock, or, there'll be a license plate that'll have, you know, uh, a pattern, certain numbers that line up that, it's like, what are the chances that that actually lines up? But, we are so lost, so confused as a society. And it's like nobody's talking about why. Everybody's just worried about, you know, and of course it's hard not to. That's a bad game. And of course it's hard not to, but everybody's worried about these quote unquote wars that are going on, not realizing that it's all just a big game. They're all on the same team, if you ask me, because in reality, you have all these governments and you have all these people who are quote unquote at war, yet China, America, Russia, all of them, they all are in agreement when it comes to something like nobody can go to Antarctica. Why? Or no one can talk or venture about space. Why? And then my thought is if they can work together to come to these agreements, then who's to say that they're not working together for all of it? Like, who's to say, like, and then also, that's just a deep rabbit trail on its own. I believe that there are old families who are running our system. Old Jewish family, and not Jewish like the 12 tribes of Israel, but Jewish, like, I forgot the damn word, but it's the people who they inherited the tradition. They inherited the uh what's the word? Well, they adapted the practices because even like people's like, oh, we Christians should stand with Israel, not realizing that the nation of Israel wasn't even founded until 1948, and that was by, I believe, someone of the Rothschild family. It was either Rothschild or Rockefeller. I know it was one of the R ones. But we have these families and we have these ancient, these ancient orders who are running and controlling everything, especially in America. Like, dude, it's our whole country's built upon Freemasonry, Illuminati, Satanism, or Saturnism, whichever one you want to call it. And like, there's just so many different hell signs out there, and yet everybody is completely oblivious to it. It just doesn't make no damn sense. Which, of course, the government, the CIA, they're good at what they do. That's the reason, like, cell phones. See, cell phones are CIA's technology that, oh, I'll catch it. But CIA is, they put out cell phones back in, I think they were testing it back, it was either the 40s or 60s, but Italy had cell phones to be brain control devices. And it's so simple how it works. That's why cell phones are smaller, because that way you have to focus more. You have to, in a sense, you pretty much you zoom in your attention to this device, not realizing that when your eyes tunnel like that, you're a lot more easily susceptible to certain, whatever the case may be, whatever you're watching or whatever, whatever brain rot's going on at that moment. Which, of course, technology is also can be a really good thing if you can be aware, if you can watch the doom scrolling, if you can watch the brain rot and all this crap that, again, it don't really matter. Hold my bullet. I feel like someone's about to come that way. Oh, someone's over there, though. Ah, I'm on fire. My biscuits are burning. Help my friend from the imaginary fire. You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby. But I don't know. I mean, like I say, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe what I've been learning is off. But I also know that I've had certain things happen in my reality that are unexplainable outside of God. Capital G. Ah! Like, see? Poor God. I would have flipped right there. That right there would have really got me. Why? Because I'm a wee bit off. Oh. I'm just glad I got him. But no, like I say, I've been through a lot. And, my greatest asset is my wisdom, I believe. And like I've just, I've experienced things that, no one on this planet, or not many on this planet, have experienced. Like high-speed motorcycle wrecks, that's not something people walk away from. I've walked away from two. Both going over 70. Really, the first one, I'm pretty sure I was going over 80. Because last time I looked at it was at 75, and I was in my power band. I gunned it around a semi-truck, and then once I went around the semi-truck and I had clear sight, there was a stopped car on the highway. Of course, reaction, that's my thing. I have very fast reflexes, so reaction kicked in, hit the front brake, threw myself off a bike. Caught myself, didn't go to the hospital. I mean, I had one person stopped and kind of helped somewhat bandage me up. Thank you for coming back out. He got shot right in the meat. Old dude from 21 Jump Street. Oh, you shot me in the dick. I wanted that one. That one's mine. 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 Oh, no one's there. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Give it to me. Hurry up. Ah, I didn't hurry up fast enough. But like I was saying, so we have these old families running everything, and you think it's like, oh, no, you're crazy. You ever notice that every president ever all wears that little I don't know what it's called, and I don't want to say it and butcher the name, but it's the cap that the Jewish community always wears on top of the crown of their head. And if you notice, it's like, come on. But if you notice, after every one of the presidents, it's like maybe not at first, maybe not for the first term or something like that, but every one of them will have to go and pledge loyalty to, put their hand on the wall, wear the cap, and I love it. Oh, and now I hate it again. Just kidding. I don't have hate in my heart. At least not no more. But they all, they all pledge loyalty to these individuals. And it's so simple how it works because all they do is, they start wars, then the nation of Israel come and they fund these wars, and that puts us in debt to this nation. And then, to get us out of the debt, they take our materials. When they take our materials, it could be oil, gold, silver, whatever the case may be. They take it, they keep it, and then we're just getting more and more in debt. Which is kind of crazy because, like, how can you be in debt when money itself is imaginary? Money itself. I'm so glad. Whoever did that, thank you. Couldn't say me enough, though. But money itself, it's the only reason it has value is because humans give it value. Give it that. What's the word? What's the word? We give it that pedestal. And we, make it like it's this big old important thing. In reality, especially nowadays, our money's not even backed by gold or silver. Originally, that's what it was. It was, it was all, it would all come from us, like, so a dollar would be a dollar's worth of gold, or silver, however the case may be. That's why if you ever look at old money, it says a silver certificate on it. I didn't get that depth either. Cool. But now it's just their banknotes, and that's all it is. And that's because the old families like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, etc. They owned the private banking system. That's why back in 1913 on the Titanic, it's interesting. The three biggest people who was opposing to the centralized bank system was all on that boat. They all died. Then 1914, the CIA was created. It's just it's things start lining up like that. It's not coincidence. And personally, I think there's no such thing as coincidence. But I do have to get off. I got stuff I have to get ready for. So I don't know. Just do your research, dig a little bit. But appreciate the like, appreciate the subscription if you can give it, and just spread the word. I'm trying to. I just want to help. That's really. That's all it comes down to is just trying to help inform, help enlighten, help people break out of the rat maze that you all live in. Of course, the choice is yours. Choice is yours. Sorry, Boondocks reference, but thank you for your time. I know you won't get it back, so I appreciate it. Thank you for your attention. I know what you put your attention to is very valuable, and of course, shows a lot about who you are. Of course, just peace and love to you. thank you for the support. Peace.